gents. Jake, a.k.a. Countdown Ended, coming to you once again on this beautiful Saturday evening. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate you being here. As always, I am not alone, but I'm joined by not one, not three, not four, but two special guests. Two. The one, the only, the butter to my bread. Cody O'Needy 316's in the house. What's going on, Cody?
What's going on? I thought tonight was a good show. I thought it over-exceeded expectations because a lot of people thought this would be a mid-show, but a lot of the matches were good, especially the Gunther and Pat McAfee, I thought stood out.
Yeah, the story in that, they f***ing killed it, absolutely. And also in the house tonight, I bring back from the past to the future, the one, the only, formerly known as OKFabe, now the super nerd, Connor 316. That's right. Give him a hell yeah. No, it's OKFabe. Connor, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, everybody? Welcome. I appreciate the return back to the show. Always good to see you. And speaking candidly, before we hopped on here, just happy to see you crushing it, man. Getting record-breaking subscribers. The wonderful people in the chat recognizing the wonderful Jake DeMarco. So happy to be part of this, man. This is good times and great people.
Well, thank you, my good man. I really can't say thank you enough to you, to the chat, to the people that leave comments, to all the likes. So far, so good. It sounds like we're coming through good. You got to hear your voice twice, but we're getting better. The other day, both Cody and I had a stroke, and it was absolutely hilarious. So
the hell?
I was trying to fix the introduction lead-in music from echoing. It always plays it twice. And as you saw with my speed analogy, I went ahead and finally figured it out. And it was making me nuts. So I'm like, maybe because it's playing for me. No, nothing. You have to add your audio as a source in XSplit and then go ahead with that source. And then you can go ahead and pick which side you want to play on.
God.
So now it's on the stream only. Yeah.
Trips you out.
So he was trying to talk, and I thought he was just hearing the monitor mix. No, he was hearing himself delayed. So if you sound, ass backwards to begin with, he was like, I don't know what to say. It's so hard to speak when you hear your voice delayed. It's hilarious.
No, I've had that happen.
Retards over there.
Oh, I've had that happen to me before too. It's a nightmare. I was laughing a little bit because we were talking. Obviously, Jake and I have done this for so long, or been involved like doing the production, like the behind the scenes stuff. I'm like, man, the more things change, the more things stay the same. Where it's like we had the exact same problems when we were first starting this. There's always some sort of freaking audio issue, whether it be volume, like I can't, like all of a sudden you can't hear me because it's over here and far away, and then like where's going to be, like it's just pick and choose it. We've probably seen it when it comes to audio issues.
We've hit it with a stick. It's been there, it's been square, and it's not ready to party.
You got to clip that and put it on YouTube Shorts. So
I'm not sure. I believe you might be able to hear it. If not, we'll have to go back to the stream after. But once again, but I'm not alone.
Don't fuck with me.
The one, the only.
I mean, everything sounds like it's coming through good, coming through hot. Yes, maybe so.
316's in the house. What's going on? So I introduced him, and he's like,
"How are we doing tonight? We got some news. Did we get Alberto Del Rio and WWE?"
It was so bad.
Oh my God.
I mean, it was better than me talking for 6 minutes with no audio. But as you brought up, my lovely friend, we are at 5,624 subscribers.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, we're, as my wife says, who gives a shit? I'm still not sleeping with you. And I'm like, babe, can you just not do this in front of your mom? But we celebrated Mother's Day early because she's working tomorrow. So I had to be cucked out for that one. But happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, all the wives that deal with the husbands like us. You know we love you. We're just idiots. But you married us idiots for a reason. That's right.
Joke's on you.
Deny that one. More than just the joke. Leftovers. Tonight was fun. I besides suffering from allergies and feeling my eyes explode, I was pretty happy with what we got. There wasn't any real major moment or surprise. They had a few elements that were kind of wow worthy, but nothing that was gonna rock the foundation as some of the Twitter world has suggested. People were really expecting some big news coming out of here, and no title changes. Everybody retained. Pretty much everybody won as we thought. Originally, I thought Becky was going to win, but then after hearing Lyra cut more again and again with her backstage interviews, I was like, I'm not so sure anymore, but I'll stick with my original picks. That's the only one I got wrong, but the opener was good. It was a solid match.
Oh yeah, the Fatal 4-Way lived up to its expectations.
Absolutely.
The whole show, I thought, was a very solid improvement over the, let's just say, in my opinion anyway, the bad taste in my mouth from the Mania main event.
Yeah.
I think that, like you guys were saying earlier, like, there wasn't much expectations going into the pay-per-view. I agree, but I also think that gave the pay-per-view a huge advantage, because a lot of times, and maybe this is, again, maybe it's just me, I feel like this is one of those rare oddities where it's like, oh, the build's kind of like, all right, it's all right. And then you get to the pay-per-view and it's like, oh my God, this is like a 7, 8 out of 10.
That happened a lot in that era where, like 2018, like where you get like Seth Rollins and The Miz and you're like, what the fuck? And then the pay-per-view would be awesome and you're like,
oh my God, yeah. What the hell is this? Like, okay. All right. But
I'll take it.
But honestly, the booking was correct. I think like they did everything correctly. Everything happened. Like the people who, in my opinion, who should have won. I think that the progression of the stories, like to your point, I think the only surprise. Well, there's a few surprises. Nothing like you said, like nothing that really didn't like go like, whoa, holy crap, didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
What? Maybe the one during the opener. Maybe the person who showed up.
That's a big one.
It's a halfie.
It kind of played.
I got a half check for that one.
That was a great surprise. I like the way they did the angle. We'll see what happens in the future, because you look back and Solo is so impressive when whoever he works with, when he's not in that dominating mode where he's just Samoan spiking people and just kind of lackadaisically strutting around the ring. When he's forced to get his ass kicked, whatever finisher he takes, he makes it look like $1 million. Like he sells his ass off.
I have a theory about him, and it's funny because nobody really likes Solo, and this he may not want this. I wouldn't mind him in a manager role.
I wouldn't either. You know, that's the thing too with him. He is multifaceted because he speaks well on the mic. He just needs a bit more confidence, coming from my, big ass saying this, but at least come across more confidence. That was my worry with Lyra, and then this past Raw, she kind of swayed me more to her side. But I felt like she was getting swallowed up, like Roman's, aura swallowed up Samoa Joe, and it swallowed up Braun Strowman, it swallowed up. We can go on, and we will. Not during the next, but soon on Guilty or Guilt-Free. We'll be covering also the sins of Roman Reigns. So that's going to be a fun one. We still got CM Punk and, his trials through AEW and CM Punk on his own. So there's a lot to go through. A lot of meat on that bone, but if you haven't seen it, check out our most recent Guilty or Guilt-Free up here on the channel, where Cody and I go into all of the wrongdoings of John Cena. Does he bury talent or does he bury mediocrity? You got to help us figure out if he's guilty or guilt-free.
Or guilt-free.
That's right. We even got our own theme song there. It's played by yours truly. The backing track is AI, but the 2 guitar tracks for tonight's intro and the other one were mine. I've gotten like the Halloween track for the intro. Yeah, I've been recording stuff, and some of them I just do like different layers, and it works out. Sounds good. It almost can, because I got a 7-string, so if I add that to the back end, I can basically get away with distorting that enough to sound like a bass. So then I just need a quick drum track, and I use Voice Mod. And it basically allows you to turn your voice into whatever you want. I got this whole little sound box, obviously, but it has, I don't want to hook my mic up to it, but it has microphones that you can use, and it can make your voice sound like whatever. It's pretty cool. So
a fun, dangerous tool.
Absolutely. So when you go ahead and you come out sounding like Kelly Clarkson, Taylor Swift. As a guy, you could do it. Like it's crazy powerful. And that's how I've done most of the intros. The songs have been just me singing. I was looking the other day back, and I don't know if I still have it.
Give me some love to the Chizat right now, Mr. Pico Boulevard. DJ Anime. I recognize DJ Anime. What's up, DJ Anime? Music Maniacs and Stuart McQuaid. What's up, y'all? Yeah, we got the main event. The main event of Backlash was fun.
Be loud. Yes.
The main event, everyone was going to say it was going to suck. It was going to be a bad match, but
I was worried because, hear me out, Cena's performance this year has not been anything of grandeur. Again, WrestleMania event. So I was a little worried.
A lot to be desired, unfortunately, with John.
Maybe the more matches he does, he's going to pick up the pace again because he looked better tonight.
Yeah, he did, certainly. You mentioned, and I was talking about the intros and stuff. This was like the first one that I did, and you can still hear my voice like pretty clearly, and it's really bad for this one. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It was like one of the first intros.
I can't hear it, but
okay. It's Jack.
If it's you, I know it's gonna rock, so I'll
go. Oh God, that back.
Your face says otherwise.
Yeah, no, the auto-tune didn't come through, and it's just me. Yeah. And it's bad, and it's also the microphone's up my asshole. So when you go back and hear it, you'll love it. But when I put that,
what went down the
other end
for that to happen?
Did you know that I have a friend in the in Europe that's a microphone technician? I also have a Czech one too. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Anyway, Backlash main event.
Do it, yes.
I thought the main event. Yeah, so I was worried because Cena's performance
hasn't been place here, folks. We're just going by feelings and opinions. We'll break down the whole show eventually, but these are just our immediate thoughts.
Yeah, main event I thought was fun. Overall, I really enjoyed the show. I don't think there was anything bad per se. I think it was definitely an adjustment going back to the 5-match shows because obviously Mania had 14 freaking matches. So to slow things down in that respect kind of was a little bit more refreshing.
Yes.
Pacing was great. Booking made sense. Like I said, all the right decisions, all the right people won. In my opinion, I think that they made the right calls. Solid show, like a B+ overall. The main event was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I figured it was kind of be one of those main events where it's like, it's not your Dave Meltzer 5-star technical grappling match. Like it's going to be, I say this respectfully, like a fluffer kind of match where like they'll. I mean, for God's sakes, they had how long they have a fucking headlock on for? But I'm not mad. Like I get it. I get why they do that because they have to go at they can't go the same pace they did. But I will say this:
they could do a few other things besides just the chin lock into the chin lock into the chin lock into the rest hold. Like I know that's part of John's thing now. Like he wants to ruin wrestling. Okay, fine, but this is like missing something. It's just
but and this is the part I was happy about. And we teased poor Spaz about this in our chat where we're like, oh my God. There were some moves in there that were genuinely impressive. I personally loved the AA countered into the RKO spot.
That was excellent. So
that was smooth as silk. For those who spoiler, so those who didn't see it, I think it was like the first attempt or one of the first attempts in the match. Cena goes to do the AA. He sets it up like perfect. And then as he does the swing down, Orton just happens to put his arms up and grab the neck and just perfectly positions right down into it almost looked like it was like something out of a video game. And then they just both fell and landed. That was fun. I thought that RKO that Orton did when Cena bounced off the ropes.
Yes, I love that was impressive too.
That was cool.
There was a few nice surprises like that, and
that was cool because it was like it woke the crowd up. It woke me up. I'm like, whoa, okay, yeah, here we go.
You also said after the main event, you wanted to give me a bit of an explanation here, something that I and a few others possibly may have missed.
Yeah, so I'll try to do the best I can to describe this detail. So basically, Cena, said no music, I don't need anything, blah blah blah, speech. saw the lower third of the credits, the whole Marvel sequence, whatnot. Cena then kind of did an interesting thing where he didn't say a word this entire time. He raised the title on each corner, and then he kind of stopped as he was about to exit the ring, and then he looked around, and then came back in and kind of looked like confused, like he was like kind of listening to the crowd. And at that point, the audience, who, by the way, shout out to St. Louis, great audience tonight, great crowd, absolutely nailed it. Definitely played their role in the whole part. It was fantastic. He looks around and the crowd starts, the boos start to dimmer down, and the boos.
They rained down in the whole night. Not only was it good, they were like ready to rain down. Sorry, I was testing stuff too because I'm trying to see live mixing, baby. But Stuart said my favorite match, funny enough, was Dirty Dom versus Penta. Dom's really improving. That suicide dive through the ropes into a DDT was an amazing spot. Absolutely.
I did see that spot. That was good stuff.
That entire match was damn good. It told a great story. I liked the El Grande Americano getting involved for the finish because it keeps everybody fresh and keeps things going.
They're gonna do now, right? They're going to do now.
Oh, we're getting the multi-man match.
Oh no, I think it's gonna be Penta and him, mask versus mask at Worlds Collide.
Oh, you think they're gonna do it? That I can see that happening. I expect sometime a multi-man match, then Worlds Collide. So maybe Saturday night's main event.
Maybe. Oh, that's right. We have a few of those coming up too.
Yeah, we have quite a few PLEs coming up. There's something like 9 weeks and 5 shows and all this stuff.
Yeah, dude,
so like a lot of short builds.
So stay tuned to the channel. Jake's going to be busy.
We've got a lot. We've got TNA coming up. So Under Siege is going to be, I believe, next Friday, or this upcoming Friday, I should say now.
I think you're right. Yeah.
And Double or Nothing's coming. Money in the Bank, Worlds Collide. There's a lot.
So when Cena gets back in the ring, he's listening to the audience, and the crowd the boos simmer down. Ooh. And they start to quiet down, and so he kind of like looks a little confused. Then he gets back out of the ring, and he's looking on the apron at the championship. And he starts to get like kind of emotional. At that point, the crowd is now cheering for him. They're clapping and applauding him, and then
really broke.
Then the crowd starts going, "Thank you, Cena."
Wow!
And you see Cena start to get like emotional, like he's like literally an inch away from crying. And then he shakes it off, and he just takes the title, and he just keeps his head down, and then he kind of gets to the entrance way, like right before the stage, and he turns back around and kind of looks around, like just kind of like dazed and confused, like kind of like you got rattled. That is the sign that they might be turning him back into a babyface.
Yeah, no kidding, or that this is not what they thought it would be, or somebody's not happy because after the match, he's like, "I know you can't see me, but can you hear me? Cut the damn music. I don't need music." He's like, drink it in, St. Louis. This is the last time you'll see what a real champion looks like. And then he dropped the belt, and then they showed the credits, and then he posed, and that was it. So I thought it was done. And then, like you said, this happened, and I wonder why they didn't show the emotional roller coaster on air.
Well, they did on Peacock. So I was watching it on Peacock, and they cut the feed.
It was my fault for killing it once the credit thing came up because I badly assumed that this is it with this one. Usually I've learned my lesson and then nothing happens. So,
well, to be fair, it is sometimes hit or miss. I mean, depends on the show and depends on the situation. So I get it, but that's interesting to me because that can mean one of two things. Either they are planning on putting him back into a babyface, or they're doing this just as like a I think this is more of a we're gonna keep this in our back pocket.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
I don't think it's gonna make him back into a babyface because if I recall that the same thing happened at the end of WrestleMania.
Cody.
Could have.
Who said you could talk?
I'm sorry.
Apologize.
What? No, he could talk.
Apologize to Connor too, because you interrupted him.
Jeez, I didn't know he didn't.
He
didn't. I know. But
Cody's over there laughing his ass off.
Stuart in the chat, he's like, "Oh, they cut it out on Netflix. It cut it after the in-ring promo. That's a pain in the ass."
Yeah,
I mean,
so
But no, it was. I think this is a back pocket thing where like I don't think it's going to lead to anything directly right now. I think this is like still litmus. I think they're doing a shit ton of litmus test things right now.
Yeah,
Don't
just
you?
to
Like,
see what passes, what doesn't, what can we get away with? Why is the crowd chanting one more time against the babyface? And yeah, I think they're just. I think they're going to certain extremes to get a reaction. They don't know what reaction they're going to get. Is it going to be revolt and disgust, or is it going to be bloodlust and carnage? Somewhere in between. Like sometimes you get the audience being like, yes, fuck him up, rip him to pieces. And other time it's like, no, save him. Why is nobody saving him? Like
it's kind of bittersweet. Like on the other hand too, like look at the main event, right? Look what happened in the main event. We had fucking wonderful utter chaos. I got mad WrestleMania 40 main event vibes. I don't know about you guys with all the
I really did well. It was like another tribal combat main event is exactly what I was thinking.
Not in a bad way.
No, not at all. Just the distractions, the interference, the chaos.
It needed to be overbooked.
Yeah, this was something that required the overbooking. It's a 25-year feuded history, and they're going back to OVW in 02, so at least Jim Cornette gets a little bit of fluff off of that stuff. Sweetie Pie says, I saw his emotions towards Randy. He knows that is his BFF, love for Randy and John. Absolutely, because there was one point in time where John leans forward and he's about to tell Randy to run the ropes, and he was going to do that, like the hip toss, and they both go to lean down. They almost clonk heads, and you see John turn to him, and then Randy like smiles while he's bent over. So John made him laugh about something. And it was just like, oh, that's good. I like seeing that. Like especially knowing everybody's history and how much people were hating each other and how bad, tense, and awful things were at times.
I remember. Yeah, I remember we talked about this. I think when we were talking about Mania stuff, where it's like the direction is going to be Cena Orton, and it turned out to be true. And I said to them, like I said to you guys on the stream, I was like, you can't fuck this up. There's no way you can fuck this. The history, it writes itself, and with the creative freedoms that are kind of letting wrestlers do their own things, Cena and Orton are going to knock it out of the park as far as like their chemistry with each other, and they did. This was a simple, easy, like, hey, oh shit, Mania may not have been the best thing, but we're going to give you this, and it's like it's an easy W, and it delivered in every way, in my opinion. The craziness. I love the chaos of the match for so many different reasons. The moves we just mentioned earlier, the 2 ref bumps. I mentioned. I think Pico mentioned in the chat earlier. There's like 2 referees, and then the entire. I don't know about you. When I saw the producers and Nick Aldis, I'm like, they're all dead. They're just gonna get completely.
They're
done. They're done. They're just straight up done.
Yeah. That was a fun moment, though. That was another moment that was fun, and it was pretty crazy. I mean, the whole night, like we said, from R-Truth to El Grande to, as you just brought up, like the security guards, all the run-ins, all of the chaos made for a what's going to happen next feel for this show, and that's what it was lacking, that what-if wonderment. Even though there was a lot of foregone conclusions, as I need to make a T-shirt and love to say, this Banana Army, guys, make sure you're hitting that like button, please. It helps out a ton. Check out everybody's links in the description box down below. Yeah, that's right. So this match, all in all, by and large, lived up past the expectations I had for it, because I really thought they were going to go with pretty early the disqualification where John, slaps the ref like Randy did.
Yeah.
So many people have said that. Patrick said as soon as they turned, he was like, "Oh, that's what's going to happen. They're going to face off. That's what it is."
No, I had a feeling this is a one and done. I was a little. I get the trepidation and the concern where they might try to fucking milk this thing for a couple of months.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think that they're smart enough, especially where and I say this respectfully, I think Randy's also on borrowed time. So
he feels like it. Well, he said he's not wrestling much longer either. He said when he finishes this contract, he said he's going to see how he feels, but he wants to be up. Yeah. John Cena's done. Jericho's almost done. Who is somebody else just said they're done after they finish their next contract too.
I think Aleister Black said that he's looking at 8, 6 more years or whatever it was. Or
there was AJ Styles is another
AJ
one.
Styles.
It was AJ. That was it. Yeah.
But there's somebody else that maybe the chat will know. That it was a big name too, and they're like, "Oh no, I'm done. I'm going to be 50." Maybe it was Edge. He said he was going to retire again at 53.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I mean, well, Edge is the gift that keeps on giving, but
Yeah.
no, like like Orton's on borrowed time too, so it's like, all right,
Is Edge not
you,
going to have his last ever match in WWE? Like,
He
No.
had it.
he did with Sheamus.
Yeah. And
well,
Yeah,
I won't.
Spaz was there for it. Right?
Nice.
Rick?
But like, but like, but like Orton's on borrowed time, Cena's on borrowed time because this is his last run. So like,
Exactly.
and,
And so
and
you get it. You
you-
know it. You feel it. It's just like, come
It's
on.
fine.
It's not a bad thing, but I was really hoping they pulled out all the stops then. And if you're not going to go for a
I
quick DQ, then they gave us better than what I expected. I just feel like they could
Agreed.
have given us a little bit more. I get rid of some of the long rest hold spots and throw in a couple of chair shots then and make it no DQ. Make it something.
Well, yeah, well, I love how the refs are, man, they might as well just pull out a pillow at one point when the one outside the corner, like outside of the
You
floor,
get
it
tapped
looked like
and you're out for an hour. You're sleeping.
I love how referees are made out of paper mache. It's my favorite thing. It's really fun. They just instantly crumble.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah,
can
call the
also pull
ambulance right
wrestlers
away. They're
apart
fucked.
during a brawl. So
yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's crazy. I love that video when Earl Hebner like clotheslines Triple H and like scolds him out. Anyway,
Yes, I forgot about that. Jesus, that's old.
but like they're on borrowed time, so like screw it, like just go for go for it now. Oh, and yeah, I thought they delivered. I thought it was just the right amount of like the balance of like I do think it might have stretched a little too long in that middle part. I will give you that, but they were smart enough where like that RKO where Cena bounced off the ropes. I said to you like, oh, it woke me the fuck up. We're like, oh yeah, whoa, geez, yeah, that was the right pacing. Where like the pacing was a little slow at the beginning, but then they just found their strides, and then just when it went into utter chaos, it was so much fun. I don't know about you. I nearly pissed my pants the way Cena landed on the table that Orton set up.
Oh,
because it looked like
yeah.
he just like plop.
He landed quite awkward, and it was so awkward, in fact,
It's
that I was afraid he
weird.
hurt his hip. Honest to God, like I was like,
I
oh, this
mean-
poor man came down at a worst possible angle, and
It's almost as bad as when Big Show like stepped through the table and it wasn't planned, and they had to
with Cody, the IC match.
with Cody.
But
But
he just looked, and the ref
wait, that
saw
wasn't
it.
planned.
No, that was a shoot. That was not.
So they said, and they just rolled with it.
Yep.
Big Show's face is always priceless because he looks at the ref and he's like,
You saw that.
And you damn well know Vince was dying back there.
Oh well, or he was rip shit.
Vince was like,
or he was rip shit. Oh man,
it's so
always like
funny.
making
I'm
fun of
sorry.
show,
Don't give me a
though.
soundboard.
Where's that referee? He's trying
He tried to fuck on me.
But like the pacing was well done. A little slow at the beginning. I did like, as much as I kind of rolled my eyes and was comedic, the producers getting absolutely slaughtered and Nick Aldis being out there, I thought was somewhat absurdly
Entertaining.
It was somewhat absurdly comical to the point where like, all right, I'll buy, like, fine, I'll bite it. Where it's like, one referee takes a bump, fine. Second referee takes a bump, and everyone comes out.
Yeah.
Why in God's name would you do that? Okay, sure.
It will set them all so they can work together as a team.
Yeah, and then just like the absurdity of like you see Orton, it's like, this motherfucker.
That RKO party was hilarious though, because it was so set up perfectly where the guys were feeding to Randy, but they weren't. They were obviously standing in line. You knew they were going to wait for it, but they did it in a way that looked at least a little bit more natural with their movements, and they all looked legit afraid. So I wish I could show it. It's classic. And like you said, the way John lands looks terrible with the table. Like he goes down and then cracks through the side of it.
It was like landing on a marshmallow pillow. And it's not his fault. It was just the funny way he landed on it.
Yeah, the announce table looks worse the way he came down.
I would have loved it. I just would have loved that one. But anyway, the only reason I like that is because it's still there's Randy's out for his there's his next rivalry.
Yeah,
they're going to keep going with him and all this. Which, hey, I'm cool with that. That's a kind of a nice safe bet where you can have some fun with that one.
Yeah.
But now he owes him another $50,000. But oh, there you go. I think Jake's trying to get it up here on the stream as much as he can without copywritten.
We'll see.
But no, it was it was the right amount of like absurdity. It was the right amount of like, you know, again, like kind of like the WrestleMania 40 main event where like it's the Avengers Endgame, you know, all the shit hits the fan and all that stuff. But yeah, Stuart says in the chat, Randy is Oprah, you get an RKO and you can, yeah, literally, I was literally saying like, buy Hurricane, buy Petey Williams, buy Davari, buy Jamie Noble. I literally was saying that as it was happening.
Yeah, you had me laughing. So let's see if we can get this to play really quick. I'm going to turn the audio off because that's usually what's get pinged.
Probably a good idea.
All right, here we could just do the.
What?
You got the AFI playing. Look at that RKO. Ready? Oh, look at this exciting. Lights him up. Another great RKO. Hold on, we're going. Get him up. Get him up. Oh.
Once again. Oh, there we go. Beautiful one.
Beautiful angle. Like, just love that with all this. He sells it like so perfect. Look at that pop up.
I also got to say, once again, St. Louis, great crowd. Great crowd. I know I said this, I think, once or twice already, but just awesome crowd. Like, and they put their part in every single part of this whole thing. We're like cheering and booing accordingly. Oh, here we go. Beautiful shot right there.
Such a great angle.
Yeah. I think do you think we can get all this in the ring before SummerSlam?
We have to, right?
I think it's possible.
It makes me laugh so much. I just we got that is a hell of a clip. See, I'm learning how we handle some of the clips. Liz coming live to us and in charge. Links in the chat.
Just gracias.
What did we just witness? John Cena walks out.
Okay.
Talks to Triple H.
I'll answer that another time.
He says, "I'll answer your question another time."
Of all time steps on stage.
John Cena walks in and cuts him out.
Oh wait, is this like the post show shit?
This is the
Oh, hold on. Oh, I know what's going on. Oh, hold on. I'm pulling up my Twitters.
I didn't know they had one tonight.
Oh, I'm watching it right now. Yeah. He's right now. He was on the stage and he's.
In the past, I have not.
Oh shit. Okay. I'm watching this too, so bear with me a second.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna try to take a step in the right direction.
Cena basically like kicked Triple H off the panel. He's like whispered in his ear and like kicked him off. And I'm listening to what he's saying. Rap meow.
Yeah, if he says anything great, let us know because we don't want to get hit for it. But I'm skipping through the audio now with everybody.
Wait, Cena kicked Triple H off?
R-Truth comes out and yells, "Congratulations! I never gave up." And Cena doesn't even talk to him, gets in his face.
I think Cena should use him as like some dummy and like have him get involved in all his matches.
You do it again. So with line, you do that. There's going to be repercussions. You told R-Truth, and then he slammed R-Truth to the table.
So proud of you.
Hold on.
Even if people say you suck.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
He's like, even though people say you suck, he grabs him and puts him right through the table. Yikes.
Wait, Cena did that to Truth?
Yes, yeah. He did. So
I just fast forwarded a bit, but basically, yeah, what happened? I didn't catch what Cena said, but basically he was talking about like the match and stuff, and then Truth comes out.
Truth comes out and he says he's talking to him, and he's like, "I never gave up, even though people say you suck." And he's like, "That was uncalled for, and there's going to be repercussions." And then this happened. Sorry, I covered my face for a second, so you guys.
Happened like about 10 minutes ago,
my idea then.
You ready?
My idea just went out the window.
Let's see here. We're gonna play it right. Let me get it now. It's in super slow-mo, huh? Oh, there we go. We dropped the mic. He's getting him up. I love how it's in super slow-mo.
Gotta love copyright, but yeah, basically that's what happened. I didn't catch what Cena
table.
I didn't catch what Cena said during the press conference. I basically skimmed through it, and yeah, Truth gets in Cena's face. They go back and forth, and then Cena.
But knowing R-Truth, though, he'll still say he doesn't know John Cena did that for sure. And maybe it was an accident. He won't be.
You know what I'm talking
Possibly.
about? You know what I'm saying, dog?
That's what he did with Judgment Day all the time, right?
Even if
so
people say you suck,
you can never get the hint.
Yeah, he's like, even if people say you suck, you never get the hang of it, and you know that's when Cena says there's going to be repercussions, and he fucks him up.
I think they did that too soon. I think Cena could have used.
They're going to build this up to a match. Watch, they need.
That's a way of keeping the heat. That's a way.
Apparently, the rumored match at Saturday night's main event is John Cena versus R-Truth.
I'm actually fine with that. I'm actually legitimately fine with that.
I just want John to have some actual like decent right now. Casey, what's going on? Some decent wrestling matches.
I waited a little longer though. I thought you could have done better if Cena used him, manipulated him to.
I would like to see him and Punk, him and McIntyre, him and Joe Hendry. Even I want people that they're actually going to make John wrestle. This wasn't it tonight. I mean, I'm never huge on Randy Orton's style. It's just his charisma, his mannerisms, all that stuff is so on point. His character, you can't deny it. So he's great to watch. Face, heel, whatever. He's entertaining. But his matches are pretty much you get hyped for the entrance and the intro, and then you get hyped for the RKO. The rest of it is just filler, sadly, with Orton. And that's not every match. You have ebbs and flows and stories, and a lot of times he's not selling much. He just does what has to be done. So
I think it depends on who his opponent is. To be honest with you,
that's very true too.
You know what's funny? And forgive me, I might have said this before in the past. I've come to realize that like there are certain wrestlers now where like like who's like some of our greats and one of our favorites, and there are some like for example Ultimate Warrior. I am not a fan of Ultimate Warrior I'm sorry, that's a bad example. I'm not huge on Batista in ring. I'm not huge on Dave Batista in ring.
Oh, neither am I.
But I'll be damned if that match that he had with the Undertaker at WrestleMania 23 wasn't the best match I've seen of his. And it was not just granted it was Undertaker obviously, but I think the chemistry between the two of them clicked very, very well.
Yeah, there were some matches we missed out on, but that was one that. And it's funny how bitter rivals can always seem to do business most times unless you're the elite.
Yep. So in this case with Orton, I kind of agree with you in that case. That I think Orton is that similar type of wrestler where it's like, yeah, I get that. I get exactly what you described to a T for most of his matches, but there are a few opponents that he has had where it's like, shit, that just clicks very, very well. Yeah. And obviously Cena's been one of them.
Absolutely. And so that's why I was expecting them to do fuck all or some type of disqualification, but I was hoping secretly for like a knockdown drag out match. And we kind of got shades of it at times. And like I said, in a few minutes, we'll get into the actual step-by-step review. These are just our instant reactions, but excuse me. All in all, I was happy with the main event. Did not want to make me throw myself off the Backlash bridge like some main events have in the past.
No kidding. I think kind of jumping around a little bit here. I unfortunately, so just heads up, transparency. I did see the finish, but I did not see the actual Penta Dom match. That was the only match I missed. I know Jake's jaw just hit the floor. I did see the finish, so I know the ending, but I didn't actually see the match itself. Heard it was great.
Dirty mother.
The ending makes sense. I get that. Love the U.S. title match. You talk about chaos.
That was chaos. And you know what? In fact, since you're there, I'm there. Cody's here. Let's do this. We're talking about Backlash 2025. They're in St. Louis. That's right. It was a raucous crowd. St. Louis, Missouri at the Enterprise Center, May 10th, 2025. Streaming live on The Cock. That's the truth. So I like using Peacock because it's very streamlined. I like using Netflix, even YouTube. Any other of them seems to always have some issue, no matter which other service, Amazon Prime, Hulu, Disney Plus, any of them always have some damn issue. But YouTube and Netflix are usually pretty damn reliable. And for whatever reason, so is Peacock. But tonight, it was terrible. On the TV, it was just freezing incessantly. So I came and I watched on the computer, but I did have to watch the first match mostly on my phone. So if I miss any details or somebody looks like they're doing something, they're not, blame my bad eyes. But from there, I was able to view it on a larger screen, but I did get to watch the whole thing. They basically went over the history of Cena and Orton early on, and the pyro to start the night was excellent. I'm a sucker for pyro. I love explosions.
Same.
Pyrotechnics is like one of the things I look forward to most when going to WWE shows. And I loved when like the New Haven Coliseum did not have good ventilation there at all. And there was a small point in time before they got the Tron, like the square Tron that Stone Cold ripped with Big Show, where they had no Tron, but they had like the rampway still. And they had kind of like the tunnel. and they would light off pyros inside and outside of that tunnel in the New Haven Coliseum, and you couldn't see the first or second match. It took like till the third match till all the smoke moved away from the ring for us to see. It's
Damn.
like, yeah, the things you don't think about, like NXT. So many of the stars walk out and they have fog in their entrance because they're walking on grates that have air vacuums in them, so they just suck the fog back down and then push it out when they need it. Like it's a whole system now.
Damn.
We used to have to get dry ice and put a dryer vent hose and run that to the smoke machine, and it was forget it. So this was fun to see the way it was set up. They start off with the United States title with the champion Jacob Fatu, accompanied by Solo Sikoa, taking on in a fatal four-way Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, and LA Knight. This was a damn good match. He started with no one in his corner. I was thinking about SmackDown when they tagged today. See, I watched that today, so everything's on my mind as one. But like you said, this match, obviously, Priest and Fatu are going to be hard hitting, but Drew, he was doling out some great punishment. It was cool to see Damian Priest and LA Knight. They did that like high-low on Jacob. That was a cool moment. They worked together well for a while until they kind of had to take on each other. But eventually, Drew just comes into somewhere and gets that huge Claymore, and that was a great near fall. He goes for another Claymore on Fatu, but that's when LA Knight like stopped him. So it was just like you said, constant chaos. Someone was always either reversing or getting out of something to be put in something else. And there was even one where Priest basically he clotheslines Drew. He tries to send him over the top rope to the floor, but it wasn't hard enough, so he's got to like push him really hard. And he ends up he's gonna run. It looked like to both Jacob and Drew, but he's gonna run around Priest is. And that's when out of nowhere and into somewhere, the big Samoan drop happens as Jacob Fatu just appears and just drops him on top of the barricade. That looks so painful.
Yeah, I remember that spot. You know what the fun thing is that I remember in particular. The whole Jacob Fatu when he no sells. I'm kind of 50-50 on that. I don't know about you. You know what I mean?
I like some of it. I don't think it needs it as much. It should be a little bit more particular with it.
Selective, right? And I agree. I'm kind of like I'm a little indecisive on how often he uses it. So the reason I bring this up is because
well, be honest with me. If you had the ability to see through women's clothes, you wouldn't use it all the time, right?
So anyway, when Jacob was when Jacob was in the ring, he did that thing where he like sprung up and then he did like had like a boost of energy and like he got like the Mario star and he like ran through everybody.
Yeah.
And then first off, the crowd went ape shit over that.
Yes.
Did you catch that?
Nuts.
The crowd went absolutely nuts. So that number one, that's working. Number two, it was immediately derailed by the finisher chain of events where like LA Knight hit his and then Damian Priest and then Drew. So it was a beautiful spot. Like it was a very well designed match. I loved the spot of Damian deliberately pulling the ref out to give it to Drew McIntyre as like a FU, and he like flips him the bird or like gives it like the fuck you gesture, and then they kind of break off and do their own. So they're not done. They're gonna have a rivalry keep going.
Yeah. I thought Drew had it won at one point. Like usually near falls, I know when to buy into, when not. Like they'd already gone. They had already gone nearly 20 minutes, and I wasn't sure how much more they had left. So when Drew hit the dual Future Shock DDTs, when he did that on LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, I was like, oh, maybe he's got something here. And because then he got in the corner and he counted down, 1, 2, 3, Claymore, and then he hit LA Knight with it, and I was like, fuck, he's going to win. He just got his finisher in 1, 2, and then Damian Priest pulled the referee to the floor, and I was like, oh,
and Fatu wasn't around. I actually thought there was a chance there too, because Fatu, if it wasn't Jacob Fatu, it was going to be McIntyre that won the title.
Because he got hit with the Claymore, so I'm like, all right, maybe you could say he rolled out of the ring to recover, and that's why he's not breaking up the pin, and because he was gone after that point. Eventually, they got him. He was.
Wait, are we talking about that? Like that? There was a near fall that happened where like Damien fell on top of LA Knight, I think it was.
Yes.
Where,
Yeah, he
like his
kind of just like
yeah.
landed on top of him to break it up.
Yeah, and then Drew had to like scurry over to like break up the pinfall attempt. Like I'm like no, but I thought it was clever because like usually that's the type of finish that you see for like a bullshit like like he like was unconscious.
Yeah, we got him
You know,
type
you know
thing.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, which I thought was gonna happen at Mania with Dom winning the title. Like I was Dom would get knocked down and he just like stumbles over on top of Finn or something. So I thought like, oh shit, that's gonna be the bullshit finish, and it was a fake out. I was like, you motherfuckers. But it was a fun match.
It was cool to see
thought,
LA Knight take down Jacob like multiple times too, because he did those like it's like a double jump, flying kick, springboard, whatever you want to call it. And because Fatu ends up going for the moonsault, the triple one there, and then Knight gets out of the way, and then he does like that double jump elbow drop on Fatu. The first time he's standing up and he clobbers him with the elbow, and then the second time he knocks him down, and then he gets like another good near fall. I thought that was gonna be something, but then you got Drew and Damien, and they are just brutalizing each other all around the arena. And you see Damien go over and he like picks at Drew's eyes, and then he hits him with a huge South of Heaven choke slam that's on top of the supply crates all the way towards the mid of the arena. The two of them come down crashing hard. And
real quick.
Yeah.
Did you see that fan in the front row?
Oh, the one with the exaggerated face? Yes.
The brown shirt. Fucking love that guy.
That was great. So I sent that to everybody that I could. Hold on, I have to pull that up for the stream because that was...
So as Jake's describing this, so Drew and Damien are doing their thing after Damien screws Drew out of that one. They brawl, they do the takeout. So that's why I said, like, obviously they're not done with that one. But the funniest thing is that, like, the landing that they set the stage up for where Damien's going to choke slam him, like, Drew off of, there's a guy in a brown shirt right in that front row, and he is freaking the hell out. And he is like, I'm afraid he's going to pop a blood vessel.
I have it right here. Hold on. Let me
like, it's not bad. I'm not like he's God bless him. He's really into it, but like, dude.
I went. It's from last night on SmackDown. So here, as soon as I pull this over, it should.
No, wait, not that guy. No, the one on the pay-per-view, the one from the PLE.
No, I know. So I just said I don't have that one yet. I have this one from last night. Yeah. I can't find the one yet. I'm trying to find it.
Was that guy planted?
I don't know. I don't think so, because look at this. This last night was crazy. Like, the guy is just... Funny. I'm trying to find the one from tonight, but that makes me die laughing.
Man, it's so good.
Anybody find it on Twitter, tag me at Countdown Ended. I'm searching through the Backlash hashtag trying to find it, but someone's got to have it.
Yeah, that guy was funny. Yeah, but eventually when we're able to find it.
I missed the Backlash fan.
So. It was right in the front row in like the front, and he had a brown shirt, and he was free, like he was so into it. It was phenomenal. I'll see if I can find it later too. But and then looks like LA Knight's going to take out Jacob by diving off the top rope through the announce table, and our top turnbuckle on the outside. Solo ain't flying Solo, because he shows up with the newest member of the Bloodline? Question mark?
It seems like it could be true. I mean, Jeff Cobb, it's a great reveal. Is this the guy you're talking about? I believe. Hold on, let me get in here. Ready? No, it's not gonna. Come on,
it's
really?
Right. It's right. It's basically like right as they're setting up the
right here. This should be it. Ready and. Da-da.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Cover my beautiful mug right there. There you
go. Folks, who do you think I refer to? Dude,
it's so good.
Dude was so into it. I was so happy to see him, man. I hope he had a good night.
I didn't give you consent to show me. That's actually me.
That's actually you.
I don't know if he knows the backstory about me being everybody, but I'm everybody.
You are everybody and everyone, I guess. So how do I zoom this in? Look at that. That is a beautiful photo. He makes me laugh every time.
He was so into it.
He was living his best life. He was feeling that moment. He was telling everybody off. I don't blame him one bit. Look at that.
fun time. It was so Jeff Cobb is now part of the Bloodline apparently.
I know, and what a great debut for him, Mr. Cobb.
I
we
like that. That
salute
was
you.
amazing.
Yeah,
It was very effective, and
great pop.
yeah, the fans knew who he was. Fans, they were not booing, they were not, mad in the sense of like, get us out of here. They're like, no, this is
They knew.
we don't want to see you win. But guess what? We like you enough that if you win, we respect it.
So that gives Fatu the chance to scoop the W, and then
Absolutely. And that's what makes me so sad about Solo, like legitimately sad, because I went back and I watched a few matches of his and I'm like, damn, at that time I was just like, he's just a replacement Roman, just get through it. And I didn't take him serious really. And it was hard because that was the storyline. That was the moment that we were featured with.
He had no gimmick.
There was no charisma. There was no pizzazz.
No,
he was just the hired
Solo.
muscle, but he wasn't even really
Solo.
that. Yeah. So
right. It was this weird. I know what you mean. Like
Yes. So now he started to develop a few things and get a little bit of a boss man attitude, and they took that because they didn't label it the right way, and then they squashed him again. So, he's not he's Filipino, not Samoan.
Yeah,
well, I think they'll call him
that's,
Samoan because they don't care. They call a fox a bull,
Yeah, I was gonna say at this point, I'm pretty sure it's like, who's the newest member of the Bloodline? My cousin Vinny. Hey, forget about it. I know I'll go for Samoan. What
are you doing over here?
You acknowledging me? Forget about.
You got the governor Google.
Oh my God, the Ulafala, you gotta get out of.
You gotta go with the Ulafala.
Fucking ludicrous. Anyway,
yeah, Bird Lady. Bird Lady's next. Any finishing thoughts on the Fatal 4-Way, people?
I loved they also finished with Fatu walking away frustrated and kind of like, I don't want to do with this shit.
Yeah, that was great because he's like, you know what? I got enough to deal with. That was kind of why I liked Rusev the other night because he did do the Redeemer thing. I thought he was going to walk away and be like, oh, you're not worthy to face me. But no, he waited for you to turn your back, and then he squashes the hell out of you. So I like that Jacob's like, I told you I was going to do this. I did it. Leave me the fuck alone. He's like, I like my privacy. I like my time. And it makes him more fucking intimidating, too. I mean, he really did dominate in this match. Anytime that he was not being ganged up on or surprise attacked.
Jacob Fatu is fucking great.
He was a menacing, evil prick here. I mean, look, LA Knight gets 2 jumping elbows after he misses the moonsault. Fatu does. And then he does the double jump elbow onto Fatu, and still he kicks out. So he got 4 diving elbows, and he was like, nope, that's nothing. Like, crazy. So, and they don't do it in a Terminator way either, where like, or old school Cena, the Super Cena, where he can't be destroyed. It was just he still had enough left to kick out because he's that tough. I just wish they would not book him 100 or 100. They need to find somewhere in the middle for this guy.
Agreed. I think that this is obviously to set up for, Fatu's next go. I think it's gonna be Fatu and Cobb, next. So which
will be a fucking amazing match.
Sign me up.
I'm down for that. Absolutely.
Shut up and take my money. So I'm all in favor. Listen, I know people may be sick of the Bloodline stuff. I'll be sick of it once the matches start being bad. So we'll take it from there. That note, the women's match.
Yes.
5.5 million stars. Loved everything about this women's match. I thought, I will be honest with you, much to your chagrin about what you said earlier about the pacing of the Randy Orton John Cena match. I kind of had the problem with this match at the beginning first. I thought there was they were a little stuck in the mud. And then once the near falls kicked in a little bit more frequently, I'm like, all right, here we go now. And then once that happened,
you nailed
it.
These two with the bad blood, the history of the betrayal, and the loss after Mania, and how let down Lyra was by her hero, now turned villain. There's layers to this, and I like the way that they teased us with Bayley, and there was a lot of what if scenarios. Does she snap and Bayley has to save her, or can she do it herself? Is Bayley there? We don't know, and I like that it plays into it. I was wrong here because originally I thought, all right, Becky wins the title so she could feud with Bayley.
Same.
No.
Yep, same.
They put Lyra over, and I couldn't be happier because I do like her. She just needs more time to get people to more promos like that from the heart, talking about what your motivations are, who you are, why are you fighting, that kind of stuff. Instead of just
I think that I think you and I are on the same. Shut up, Big Bird. It's bird flu. I think you and I, Jake, are very, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. I think you and I have the same mindset where it's like, okay, we understand that traditionally speaking, the way this looks on paper and the way that it has been played out in times past is that it makes all the sense in the world for Becky Lynch to win the title from Lyra, put the prestige of Becky's name on the lineage of the Women's Intercontinental Championship. She's still heel. You get new challengers. She has a run, etc.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. And
somebody said no. They beat him.
And I think they called an audible. I think that once they understood the chemistry they had in the ring with the two of them, I think they called an audible where they're like, all right, you know what, screw it, do this, and then Becky attacking afterwards, because I think there's gonna be more meat on the bone with this rivalry, and I think that the way that the crowd reacted, the chemistry they had, great psychology, there is a sizable amount of mileage still on this rivalry, and I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, apparently Jeff Cobb almost didn't make it to Backlash. He had a travel issue, so he got lucky.
Can you imagine?
That's crazy. So it said travel schedule for Backlash was hectic. He had to take 5 flights from Japan to get to St. Louis for his WWE debut on Backlash tonight. Jesus. He arrived this morning after traveling for a day and 3/4. So
that's a 90s movie waiting to be made.
24 hours and 18 hours. So I mean that's what is it, 24, 34, 44.
You've just been signed by the WWE,
50,
and now you get to fly.
52 hours you're up there. Liv Morgan did not appear on the Tonight Show, as she is currently filming her role in Takeshi Miike's, whatever you say his name, Miki's Bad Lieutenant 3, Tokyo in Japan. I thought she was getting some super superior role. This ain't it. CM Punk
on what?
Sorry, the Jeff Cobb story of him almost not making it to the show is kind of funny. It almost sounds like something like a 90s,
how telling.
movie. Well, no, like a 90s movie where it's like, imagine being signed by the WWE, and now he almost doesn't make his debut show. I gotta make my flight. I can't make it.
He's got 12 hours and 8,000 miles to go. Can he make it? This
he's
weekend.
Accompanied by the lead singer of Korn, Jonathan Davis, in Korn on the Cob.
Come on, dude, we're flying. I can't take any more of this. He's doing his vocal.
Wait, who appeared on what? You said I missed that part.
Nobody.
Oh.
It said Liv Morgan did not appear on the Tonight Show because she's filming.
Correct.
Was she supposed to be on the Tonight Show?
I don't know if she was listed or not, but she didn't appear with any of the other WWE stars that were there. So,
but solid women's match, great chain wrestling, great psychology.
CM Punk was not there tonight because he was at UFC 315 cutting a promo on behalf of the UFC welterweight champion Bilal Muhammad. So interesting.
Yeah, something to take into consideration, guys. No Roman, no Punk, no Seth, no world champion. Granted, Cena and Orton obviously is a big enough main event, but
no Cody.
I thought Jay and Logan until the other day was going to be on Backlash.
I thought so. I thought so too.
Thought so. They made it. They never confirmed, but they insinuated that it was. They were airing the brand. I watched how they did it. No, they never told us the match was then, but they would have the promo, and then right afterwards, they're like, "But Backlash is May 10th," and da. Like, so you just told us about everything that's happening, and then you go right into the hey, May 10th. Here's the promo. Like, watch this then. So what are you supposed to think? How do you infer anything but that's when the match is?
Yeah. So
we're avid watching fans. We're tuning into all this shit. Like, what about people that only watch Raw or one Raw a month?
Yeah.
I mean, fuck them. Well, you need more fans.
Yeah.
Bully Ray says The Rock is to blame for John Cena's heel turn not living up to expectation. He's right.
I agree.
Right. We absolutely found him.
The funny thing is,
guilty.
The Rock won't call out Bully Ray like that, like he did. What's his fucking face?
Yeah,
Bully Ray. I put into a
Dave LaGreca.
I put Bully Ray into the same vein of like Jim Cornette.
Oh, they're like same as heroin. Gotcha, but wrong vein.
Different vein. I got poison in my veins. But no. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. Where were we at? Oh,
Off topic, not here.
Women's. Yeah, never.
Never.
It's into somewhere.
And we're going somewhere.
I think we're still gonna get at least 1 or 2 more big matches out of Lyra and Becky for the women's Intercontinental title, but I still think Becky's gonna get that belt.
Yeah.
I think she needs it.
I think she will through shenanigans. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think like I said, there's still meat on the bone, and it's about time that they're doing some shit with the women's mid-card titles now. I see some,
I know you
something.
disagreed, I think, Jake, but I said they did the opposite of what they should have with the women's mid-card titles. I think
What's
they should
that?
have put them on bigger stars first. Like
Yeah.
Natalia and Bailey could have been.
See, I said it.
Like-
You could do it with it. Ideally, you'd want it on a no-name or a younger star. Maybe it was only in a tag team or something, but you would do it to elevate them because now you have to feed them wins to make the belts feel relevant. Like that's how the Becky made that world heavyweight title relevant when she got it. Same thing with Seth. Same thing with because they had to defend the belt repeatedly to make it feel legitimized.
Which sometimes I think it's a good thing for the top stars to have a mid-card title.
Absolutely, but I think you would need to get the belt over first, then raise its quality of life, whatever you want to call it. You understand?
So hold on,
So
hold on, Cody. You said a big name should hold the mid card title first, and Jake, you think it should be a up and comer through and through.
Originally make the belt, make the star, and then the star will make the belt after the fact.
The thing of it is, sorry, Jake, I agree with Cody on this one. I think you need a big. I think you need a big name to start because realistically, the world titles are established first, right? And I without going into too much of the lineage, 9 times out of 10, the major world titles have a longer lineage in history than the mid card championships do, as far as like your Intercontinentals, your US's, your North Americans, etc. So you have an uphill battle of like, why would someone want to degrade themselves to go down to this championship or like go level down? So you have to create some sort of value in this championship. If you just say like, hey, shiny new trinket, go and chase it. Well,
exactly. Work your way up for this.
It doesn't do anything unless you put value into it. And the best way to put value into that thing is to at least have, hey, a check marks of like the fucking stupid, what do you call it? What's the Saudi Arabia thing they did? The Champion of Champions that Liv Morgan.
Night of Champions, I believe it was.
Yeah,
right?
whatever. No, the
where they got the rings at the end. Crown Jewel.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Crown Jewel's in Australia this time, though, in Perth. That's what's confusing.
So I'm guessing Rhea Ripley is going to be winning that women's Crown Jewel championship.
I guess so, because Night of Champions is coming up, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah,
yes.
That's it's too much to keep up with. My brain goes.
But anyway, the point I'm bringing up is that like you need to have you need to establish some credibility to the championship, and the only way, at least right out of the gate, afterwards, after that first initial run, and then you take it, then it should be, you're right, like fresh meat, like up and comers only, unless it's somehow unless you want to like somehow tie it into like for example like Sheamus's deal where it's like, oh, I want to be Grand Slam champion, and the only championship I'm missing is the Intercontinental Championship. Which, by the way, Drew McIntyre is the reverse of that. Is if he won that U.S. title, he would have been a Grand Slam champion.
See, and that's what I think he's going to accomplish because Cena doesn't have the IC title either. So I figured someone getting the IC title and Cena taking it to add to his collection, if he's only going to have it for a brief period, fine. If he's going to take it away for months,
I think Cena should. I think Cena should win the Intercontinental title.
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind.
It would be fun too.
If they're gonna make him the GOAT, he needs to win everything.
All titles. He should win the women's title too. Just go in there and beat the fuck out of Io Sky. Imagine he just walks in, just knocking her teeth out. Why, John? Make a wish.
So I have to bounce a little bit, unfortunately, but I do want to talk real quick about the only other match that I saw, which was
please,
I know we're bouncing around a little bit. Was the Pat McAfee Gunther match?
Yeah, I wanted to know your thoughts about this, and thank God you got to see it. Apparently, Drew's doing fine after his little scare with that match. They said that he was evaluated, and they said he's doing okay after a scary fall during the Premium Live event.
Oh shit! Wait, I missed that one.
His head missed the table and hit the floor hard. So he was being evaluated by medical. Went to the hospital. They cleared him, and he said Damian Priest had a tooth knocked out from it.
Ooh, damn.
So they both got fucked
Oh.
up there.
All right. The Pat
Big
McAfee
update.
Gunther match was solid.
Yeah,
I think it wasn't anything wowing. I think that Pat McAfee, like, salute to you, sir, for taking those nasty, nasty chops. I
Yeah.
think props to Michael Cole, props to Pat McAfee, and props to Gunther. I think that they. So I'm gonna rewind a little bit here. I used to be a big fan of Gunther. I was big on him as an Intercontinental Champion run, or on his Intercontinental Champion. And I was like, oh man, King of the Ring, and then like the world title. I think that I'm like, all right, I'm on board. Like, okay, world title. That seems I'm ready for this. I'll be honest. Around like the Rumble, I was kind of bored. I got soured on Gunther, and so I kind of like.
I think it's having them take so long nowadays, kind of like.
Yeah. It was just kind of rinse and repeat to an extent. They were like with the IC title, you can get away with it because like here's the big bad fucking Gunther.
Dude of the week.
Right. Yeah, you can get away with that with the mid-card title, but when you're doing the world, you need a little bit more.
You need to build, and you need to have him be threatened. He was never threatened. He was always dominating until he faced Cody, and then even that was like, oh, that was just my lack of confidence, but I fixed it now.
I think there's still potential there. I think he's still gonna have a very, very solid top, run, but he just needs to get a little bit more. But in any case, the reason I bring that up is because when he lost the world title at Mania, I said you need to get him off TV and out of sight, out of mind completely. Just like they've done with Cody. I don't want to see or hear anything from him for a little while, and then come back as a monster, right?
Yeah,
kind of like Brock Lesnar him.
Which a lot of people had reported that we'd be seeing him tonight, that he would be returning. And
no, please no, thank God.
I don't see him coming back till Money in the Bank time.
No, what Brock?
No, Cody.
Oh, okay, Jesus.
Brock's probably not coming back.
No, I agree with you. I don't think Brock's coming back.
I think he was going to come back again because they started mentioning him on TV again, trying to get comfortable with it. And then, he was officially name dropped in that lawsuit. Then it was
a lot of litmus tests. I can't talk. Anyway, when I saw Gunther attack Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, I thought, there's his out. There's his way to write him off TV for a while. They actually did this with Brock when Seth won the title at WrestleMania 31.
Yep.
When he attacked Michael Cole, I think he F5'd him out of his shoes, and when he F5'd him out of his shoes, they're like, "Oh, you're suspended." And
it was so funny, so good.
So I thought, okay, when he attacked Pat McAfee, they were going to do that, and then of course they did the match, and then the rumor came out, and I think the rumor's still there that this is basically a backdoor way to get Gunther and Goldberg at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Which I think there's easier ways to accomplish than this, but
I don't think that was the case here. I think that what this was a way. I think now they're going to take Gunther off TV.
Yeah,
I think they needed to give Gunther a win,
and then suspend him,
and then not suspend him, but like just get him off TV, get him away, because I get a Brock Lesnar type of vibe from him, like he's a opposing, menacing, like daunting.
Protect him.
You need to kind of be very careful with how you book him, kind of like the Fiend. You can't put him in every kind of situation. You have to be very specific.
Yeah, because the Fiend was the problem, was that they oversaturated us with him, and then they tried to humanize him, and it just never really
fucking
felt
strap
great.
on him. It was a fucking. That's a whole nother rant for a whole nother time. We'll save that for another rant off the.
I know. Don't mind me squinting over here with these headaches. It's like, you need bright studio lights, but it's not the best idea when you're light sensitive. So I'm sitting over here like half squinting, eye open. But my main thing is that, like you said, they just. It's like they establish something, but then they forget the rules about it. And I'm not just talking like stipulations, like things with the Fiend. Like he was unbeatable under the red light, and then they hit him with a toolbox with a sledgehammer, and now he's done for, even though he popped right back up. Like they broke their own rule there, and they do it multiple times. They did it a lot with Braun Strowman with things, and it would make you think, and it's like,
So okay, the thing with the Fiend is that, like, creatively, it's a genius idea. Honest to God, it's up there. And I know a lot of, and I'm just gonna go out on a tangent here, folks. Sorry, I'm gonna just go on this tangent for a second. All right, so the Fiend was a unique character in the sense of, like, obviously akin to like a Mankind, obviously an Undertaker comparison, Kane, like that kind of like supernatural-esque entity. Bray was a creative genius. The idea that he was able to shape and mold this gimmick, that you were able to kind of bend and weave any way you wanted to go, whether it be babyface or heel. And you had this like fun, like obviously nod and wink to the audience, where if you are a loyal fan or an insider, you could piece things together and understand that there might be some deeper significant meaning than what you just see on the surface. And even on that part, even what you see on the surface is still a fun, fascinating, just, horror-esque Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, like Mr. Rogers meets, Freddy Krueger. But anyway, when you apply that to wrestling, that's where you have to be very careful. He should have never won the championship. Period. End of story. That character is meant and designed to establish that is the second in command. That's the one that they put with you to get you ready for a top run.
That prepares you.
That is what Undertaker had that role. Jake the Snake Roberts had that role for a while.
Really?
Where it's the idea, yes. So in the early stages of WWF, the idea was that Jake was going to be positioned to be the guy to get you ready for Hogan.
That makes sense. So, like, we're gonna prep you, and if you can't do it, you're not getting the paycheck.
That's why they paired him with Warrior.
And you know what the funny part is that Hogan, like, even when he went to WCW, they tried to make it sound like, he was instrumental in getting the NWO to happen and sign, and he was always the third man. It's like, no, you weren't involved in any of it. You heard about it and knew that it could be a boost in your career, and he jumped into it and saved his own ass, but he wasn't initially involved. It was supposed to go to Sting, so.
But the with the Fiend.
Yes.
That you can't. That's what the character's gimmick should be designed to is to interact with the next person who's in line.
Yeah.
well, you can. Well, that's the thing, right? You can. There's trickery, and obviously with like the introduction of like the cinematic type of matchups that Matt Hardy like kind of pioneered with the broken shit. There's ways you can get around it. Shit, multi-man matches for fuck's sake, like triple threats and shit. You can there's loopholes and shit.
Not even that, but if they're doing magic things, you can always counter magic with magic. You know what I mean? Like there's ways you could have done things with the Fiend. I always thought that when he went to go and face Daniel Bryan, I remember Daniel was doing the whole evil heel thing at that time, but he kind of was like snapping out of it, and Bray was like confronting him with everything.
Yeah.
But at first, Bray couldn't get into him because he wasn't afraid. Like he wasn't looking at him. He wasn't afraid of him. And I'm like, oh, that's what they're going to do. They're going to tell the story. Like if you don't fear the Fiend, that's how you can hurt him. But then they dropped the ball and he ended up fucking it up anyways. But still,
it got muddied after. Once he won the title, it went all down there.
Yeah, and this was a defense, but this was just a lot of bullshit for what was a great idea. In theory, like you said, there was a perfect setup to have that, inspiration there, but they fucked it up.
I link that back to Gunther, where I feel like Gunther has a similar type of character where, like, not obviously the dark supernatural shit, as funny as that would be kind of to an extent to think about, but more the idea that, like, he's very old school in the essence of, like, he's had these, like, long dominating streaks, and we need to slow his pacing down if we're going to get anything long-term from him. Like, if you, like... and that's the case with anybody. You have to do that with anyone. So, but as far as the match itself with him and Pat McAfee, one of the better, like, celebrity-esque matches, if you will, like not, on the level of Damian Priest, Bad Bunny, but
Pat McAfee never disappoints in the ring, though.
Yeah, like
He's
not
serviceable,
very serviceable. Like they got what they got done, and the little nod, and him tip of the hat. Again, Pat McAfee took a fucking nasty. Like he took those chops. I
mean, his meat was hanging out of his chest. There was nothing left. It was all ground beef.
Oh man, he took a beating. So kudos to him. Earlier we were talking about this earlier on the air, but yes. Michael Cole cut a promo on the pre-show. Where he basically said, he's like, I apologize to Pat for putting him in this situation. He goes, I also apologize because I'm not going to be. I'm going to be biased in this, and he goes, and I think I should be able to state my opinion. And he just went on this like beautifully soliloquy, like 10-minute rant about like how he's like, I should be able to like curse my like. He goes, I should be able to give my own opinion. He goes, you don't see LeBron James beat the shit out of the announcers if they say something bad about LeBron, do you? He goes, so I don't think we should have that same ability. He goes, what's Gunther going to do next? He's going to come after me. He's going to come after Wade Barrett and Big E, and he goes, they're both retired. You're gonna try and make examples because I don't want to fear for my job like this. I'm not sure like if it's gonna go
Why would you
anywhere
wanna
after
be
this.
uncomfortable like that and deal with that?
Well,
That's
no,
terrible.
no, it's not that. I mean, obviously, I think they're done with this after this.
Yeah,
the way the things mentioned.
but-
But like, I'm like Michael Cole. Like, where was this? Like, yes, please bring more of this to the table.
Mhm. Like I said,
stuff.
Pat brings out a different side of him, and if he could really tap into that and not be micromanaged, I think he'd be perfect again.
Yes,
He really does have shades of greatness all the time. He's a
yeah.
great storyteller, not a commentator.
Correct. But on that note, I must depart for the evening.
So, what's your score overall?
Ooh, I would probably go a solid. I'm torn between 7.5 and 8 out of 10. Like I'm in that range there where like I can't. Part of me wants to give it an 8. And
We covered every match because you yeah, I can't talk now either. We talked about the main event. We talked about Lyra and Becky. We talked about Jacobs. We talked about Dominic and Penta a little bit. We could go in a little bit more for that, but we explained the interference with El Grande Americano, and then we had Gunther and Pat. So we covered all the matches. I would give tonight's show, knowing that it's a B show, you're coming in not expecting like a WrestleMania level pay-per-view or anything that worthy. I would give it an 8. Yeah.
I'll give it the 8. You know what? I'll give it the 8 because the undercard delivered and the main event exceeded expectations.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's I think the 8's serviceable. So
I agree. So I know the people can follow you on YouTube at supernerd_CM613. And they can also follow you on Twitter at the same. The links are both added to the description box down below, where you can also find links to Cody, Baz, myself, Liz. Everybody's in there. Make sure you're following everybody. We appreciate it greatly. Don't threaten me with a good time. Is there anything else that I didn't plug you? Oh, the Horny Goat Gaming channel. Make sure you check them out as well. Those guys and gals are great over there. And what did Chaos Theory say? You guys seem so smart. Why don't you work in the business? I'm sure you guys are more informed than everyone. You both have figured it out. IWC knows more than everyone. Hey, we're just talking opinions. You know, that's all this is here. We have fun entertaining ourselves.
I'm just a mega nerd when it comes to wrestling. So I mean, you know, much appreciate the compliment.
Yeah. Chaos also said though that he's upset that a piss video from a professional whore ended Vince and Brock's career. So you know. Come what may, but I get it. Hey, you're upset. I would be too if my superstar I liked is being kept away. But
you gentlemen are the best. Much appreciated.
Best,
I gotta hop off, but you have a fantastic evening, Jake.
Thank
Keep
you.
Crushing it.
Thank you so much for joining us. As I'm in my own la la land over here, just dazed and confused, listening to
don't
your
worry,
lovely
I'll
voice
punish
talk.
Jake if he has more opinions because we can't have opinions.
Thank
you guys. You guys have a good night. Peace out.
Take care, my friend. Thank you for coming.
Always a pleasure. Night, guys.
You better finish. So, see, these are the...
You in the comments, thank you for that.
These are the shock collar batteries that he got for me, and I just got to go ahead and hook it up, and you just attach to your neck, and every time I have an opinion or do something, and Cody's just going to hit the button and fuck me up a little bit. He said, little capo punishment goes a long way, and he's going to teach me not to be such a miserable cunt, you know? Oh, shit, I fucked that up, huh? That's like 3 punishments now.
Oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do it off air because we can't have any evidence, you know.
Yeah, I know Chaos Theory is just trolling for fishing and hate, but I'm saying it in general. Like that's the goal of here: to hang out, talk the shows, talk the news, and have that be it. I'm looking through things on Twitter at this point, and it seems like people are pretty much on par. Knowing that
it's
Backlash,
okay to have trolls.
Yeah, Solid Monster said, the title defense of Lyra is what she needed. Surprised but not disappointed to see her retain. And I was the same way. I wasn't sure that she'd retain. I thought that might be it. Then John Cena second-guessed his decision, as you pointed out earlier, and Connor mentioned as well and explained. You see him kind of like look back, and he's unsure. And he goes to the ramp unsure of himself. I mean, that's crazy. Last time is now. A real last champion rules. It's Backlash. Oi. Real last champion has left the ring. That was it. I mean, John
But
Cena,
I'm
Randy
everybody,
Orton,
so am I actually the last real champion?
and
Or
you're the Ring.
I am the Ring as well. I was
Tiffany,
sponsors. I
yeah,
was it all.
Jesus Christ, Tiffany looks great here.
So every wrestling event, everyone's just watching me wrestle myself and be the referee.
Pretty much.
I mean, I'm everyone, you know.
Check this out. Hold on, I got to add this to the stream. Tiffany Stratton posted her new wardrobe photo. I guess it says she can wear that wardrobe. It looks great with it. You just gotta, put the title on.
Oh,
Are you religious too? Come on, pray with me.
all right, yeah.
Looking through the news and the cycle, I'm pretty much just hearing people's results. Finn is just staring a hole through Domino while he was, mean mugging and flirting to the camera. That was funny. Basically, we didn't see, Becky take the title, and I was surprised. I thought she was gonna get that belt, but Pigeon Girl kept it.
The birds.
Randy Orton sips the Prime, and he makes like a disgusted face, and then he puts it back.
Have you ever had any of that Prime?
I've had the red, white, and blue one there, and the cherry one.
Is it
Neither one
good?
was I didn't care for either one. They taste
Oh, it's
very
bad?
artificially sweet.
Yeah, no thanks.
It was like that fake sugar sweetness, like that sucrose stuff. It tasted way too strong in the flavor
So is
department.
it supposed to be like
Gatorade?
Like Gator? That's what its competition is, Gatorade.
Yeah, Gatorade,
So if you had to
Powerade.
choose one, you would choose Gatorade or Powerade
Yeah,
over that.
and even those aren't
Yeah.
great for electrolytes, but they're better than just straight water at times, depending on what you need. If sometimes all you need is water, that could be enough. Absolutely. And thank
Yeah,
you
I've
guys in
heard
the chat for hanging out with us tonight. We've had a lot
I've
of
heard
fun.
he's never actually drank his own Prime. From rumors
I
I've heard.
believe it. Yeah, no Cody Rhodes tonight. That was disappointing. I was hoping we got some Cody.
Oh yeah, I thought we were gonna get him too, but
I thought
another day we will get him. You know, maybe Money in the Bank, or when is Money in the Bank? Is it the beginning of June?
Let's see here.
Or Saturday night's main event. We could end up getting him.
Here we go. So we got Backlash just happened. That doesn't help. That doesn't help either. Fucking pain in the ass.
What is Saturday night's main event? I already forgot. It's on
all right,
NBC,
so
right?
yeah, it's on NBC. So we're up to WrestleMania Backlash. So May 24th, Saturday night's main event, folks. May 24th, and then hold on, that's it. Selection. We're gonna go. Yeah, the Saturday night's main event. Then NXT Battleground is the 25th, so the following day. So the 24th is a Saturday, obviously. 25th is a Sunday. The 7th is that Saturday, right? Yep, that's Saturday. So we got Worlds Collide in California and Money in the Bank in California that night. So that's at 4, that's at 7, or 12 and 7, whatever. Then July 12th, we have Saturday night's main event. But then don't forget, July 5th, we have Evolution in Connecticut. And then
Did they announce it officially? Or?
It's not official, but there are tickets ready, so the event is coming. They're just waiting till they announce it, I guess. And then we have SummerSlam 2 nights, and then at the end of the month is Clash in Paris, Clash in the Castle. So coming up, we just had Backlash. So we got main event, Battleground, Worlds Collide, Money in the Bank, and then Saturday night's main events. We have 5 shows in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 weeks. That's not too bad. And then we got SummerSlam twice that following weekend. And then at the end, we have Clash in Paris. Damn.
Gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, and those all have like Raw and SmackDown tickets with them too.
try to review as much as we can there.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be all over that.
We get to do Saturday night's main event, or
yeah, when
is it
it's
something you want to
live.
do?
Oh, absolutely. We've been covering those for a while now regularly, so we're definitely going to be covering those. It's just that I got a little bit of sleep last night, but I am exhausted. But this whole day I've had that stupid grueling long headache. My eyes, like if I don't have my glasses on, I look absolutely just retarded. My eyes, look at this, they won't focus. You can see on the stream. So if I close my eyes and let them open,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I look all special ed. Like this eye will go all wonky, and
I mean, it happens to the best of us, you know.
it's from the pressure of the migraine. It hits where my ocular nerve is, so it makes me have like a feeling of pressure behind my eyes, and it causes this eye to like wander. So I have to be like, "Come back, you." So every now and again, you see me with my eyes closed. It's like, is he sleeping? It's like, no, he's waiting for his eye to stop floating. I was trying to see if there's any more pay-per-view specials or lists or anything that's out, because it seems like they're missing a few dates in there because they're going
I
right
know it's
into
at the end of the year, but
SummerSlam.
I think they officially announced that John Cena is going to be having his last match ever in Boston in December. I think
Yeah,
I
well,
thought I saw something about that on Twitter. They officially announced that at the press conference. I could be wrong.
we'll have to ask at some point and find out.
What would you call it? Ruthless aggression is.
Yeah, try it.
Do you
I'm
name
on
this?
2022, so I'm almost there. Nope, nothing. No listing.
I mean,
Yeah, Randy
hot
Orton hitting
take,
RKO's
but,
to everyone is great.
not so much of a hot take. I think people could agree with this. I think tonight's show is better than WrestleMania Night 1.
Yeah, the only thing I would do with night one, that had the women's triple threat. Or no, that was night 2, right?
Yeah, that was night 2.
Who opened night 1?
That was Gunther and Jay.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that wasn't a great match. I could skip that. The celebration was cool, but the match was not good.
So I think Backlash tonight was better than night 1.
Yeah, no, I agree. The men's triple threat at the end was fun, but it wasn't.
You know what
classic.
we do? All you have to do is flip flop night 1's main event and night 2's main event, and you got like the worst.
You send
show
people
ever
happy.
and the best show ever.
Yep, they wanted to keep people happy, so they didn't. What a waste. Well, I would definitely give this show an 8. Solid Monster seems to agree. He feels like about that as well. I would give it a thumbs up. Most of the chat agrees. What's your score, guys?
You watching Solid Monster? Or,
No, not. I will check him out later on, but I was just looking at his tweets and seeing what he thought. So he said Jeff Jarrett would be proud of the main event with all those ref bumps, but as Cena and Orton matches go, this one could have been, with what Cena has left at this point, that was as good as you could have asked for. He's not wrong. Like it wasn't
actually
terrible, but what else could you ask for? Absolutely.
There was not a lot of good Cena and Orton matches that were actually good. So shockingly, this might actually be one of their better matches.
Funny enough, it is. It is one of their better ones, and it's like, holy crap, you guys! You don't have you have a storied history, but it's not a great history. And for what you've done so far, we've tried to make it work, but you're not giving us much to work with.
I'm disappointed though during this run, because this is one of his greatest rivals ever, that we won't be getting a John Cena versus Edge match. That just sucks.
Yeah, probably not, huh? Figures.
Yeah, we won't. Well, I mean, that's one that you would want, because that's, how could you not? But Edge decided to go to the dub, but
yeah, no kidding. So, well, hey, him and Christian can go and fuck there and be happy and merry, and we'll continue to review things over here, checking out the Twitter and having fun there. You guys have been great, giving us all the support, the likes, the love. Thank you all so much. Backlash, I would give an 8 out of 10. I feel comfortable with that because it was a lot of fun. No, it wasn't mind-blowingly great, but it was exciting. We obviously have a few big announcements for Raw that's been circling in the background. Always fun to see. And we're going to have some big announcements for tomorrow night, as well as CM Punk is advertised for the next PLE in Saudi Arabia. Looks like he's going to go to that. So awesome to
What's
go ahead.
tomorrow night?
Yeah, well, no, the pay-per-view is coming up where is it? Sorry, Night of Champions. That's June 28th. So, day before my
CM
daughter's
Punk's
birthday.
gonna be there?
He's going to be in Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So, I was very...
But didn't he tell Miz to go suck a bloody...
Yep, he did. He was against everybody at that point. But when it came to him, forget it. He knew.
When the money talks to him about the Saudi Arabia payday, then he's like, okay.
Yeah, of
because
course.
they get paid really well for going there.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Those
absolutely.
paychecks are extra special. I'm sure every wrestler loves those after the fact. They might not like the country going there, but they like that paycheck.
Yeah. Undertaker said, he hated going, but the paycheck always made it worth the while. But they had to pay for a lot on their way there and back.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Terrible. But, sorry, I have like a frog in my throat. I hate that when it's just like it won't go away. All in all, though.
I do wish, though, that they get
that?
rid of their partnership with Saudi Arabia. It's like...
It's not killing them right now. Unintended. They have a thing going, so hey, it's okay.
It's still just like
is it limiting? Yeah. Is it good PR? Not really. Are you doing anything motivational or beneficial over there? Not anymore. So they really don't need it, but pulling out could make them look like insensitive as well. Or it's a hard thing to get behind no matter what.
Eventually they'll let women wear their actual gear there. I think there's people that still complain about that, like they have to be fully clothed. So.
Exactly, and it just makes me laugh. I laugh thinking about how wrestling in general, it is ridiculous. It is a fool's show. You got guys running around in trunks, sweating on each other, fighting about belts, and arguing over fans, and usually the strangest and dumbest things possible. It's always hilarious. So when you break it down,
that's what makes wrestling work, though.
Yeah, if you break it down to such a finite thing and make it just this small little package, it's pretty crazy. It's entertained people for many, many years, and the way they do it, frog in the throat better than any type of penis. No, I agree, absolutely, Pico. But maybe I would have coughed that already, up, or he would have finished, and I would have been done. Cody, tell them where they can find you, my friend.
You can find me over on Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it nowadays, at Judgment Day Era, and you can find me over at my Instagram at Cody_Onidi_316.
That's right, and you can go ahead and find me right here. When you hit the like button and the subscribe button and the notification bell, make sure you turn that on so you can be informed every time we go live. We'll be live again tomorrow night. Spaz will be here. We're going to be doing Into Somewhere weekly kind of idea with wrestling news and rumors. We'll recap TNA. We'll cover a bit of AEW. We'll talk with Spaz about MLP and how everything was there up there in the Canada, and have some fun.
Is that going to be on Spaz's channel or your channel?
No, it's going to be right here tomorrow night. So, and then during the week, we're going to be getting some friends together, hopefully, and have ourselves do a big panel over there. So I think that could be fun as well for predicting SummerSlam. We'll let everybody know the schedule. We'll be live for the Raw review. We'll be live for NXT, so don't miss it.
Yeah, I like that concept.
Absolutely.
Predicting SummerSlam way too early.
It's going to be a blast. Guys, as always, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you all have a great night. And as always, stay sexy.
Banana.